Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione. Round 9 of the Taco Tuesday series takes us to the Ardennes Forest at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Tom Kent's in the country position, providing you with everything you need to know throughout the next couple of hours as we prepare for the final moments of practice, which is at present, along with a 15-minute qualifying session with a 60-minute race coming up shortly after. Well, this is the round where the championship could be decided. We are at the penultimate round, so there is a possibility for the championship to be decided. And it looks likely, with Rapid Duck on the brink of clinching it, 39 points out in the lead. In order for him to clinch the title, he would need to be leading the way by at least 41 points. If he does that, then the championship is mathematically sealed with a round to spare. He's not in the lobby at the moment, so he could well be in a little bit later. We are seeing a number of drivers on circuit at the moment, including Busov, who's fast at the moment, so he runs wide on the exit of Stavolo before he rejoins back onto the circuit. Well, in terms of what happened in last week's event at Watkins Glen, it was a comfortable victory for the reserve driver, Drifter. He came out on top in that one, ahead of the, although it was Law that is shown as the winner in that one, and Drifter apparently dropped to second place, which is interesting. So it was Law who took his second victory of the season, with Drifter in second place, and in third position was Ben Milden in his first full-time outing. So I thought it'd be Drifter. Drifter won on the road, but I think there must have been a time penalty or something, which saw him lose the race victory as a result of it. Either way, the victory went to Law on that occasion. Much needed victory as well. MGK's gone second quickest then in the Ferrari. Could do with a victory to keep his slim hopes of the title alive. Goes into this round 56 points off the top. So 2 DNS this season. One at round 4 of the championship, which will be Kyalami, and the other being a couple of rounds ago at Alton Park. We are expecting a full house tonight, 26 full-time drivers and 3 reserves. And the drivers, or the full-time drivers who are not registered for tonight. Looking at the chicken, they are Blair, P. David, and those are the only full-time drivers not available for tonight's action. We are at Spa tonight. Next week will be the season finale at Imola. It'll be a 90-minute race with 2 mandatory pit stops included to wrap up the season. The 8th edition of the Taco Tuesday series within the FRL. The league has been going on for around about a couple of years now, maybe a little bit longer than that. It's slowly but surely going from strength to strength. New drivers coming in, racing in these GT3 cars. There are some championships within the FRL that do GT4s as well. And I wonder what the future holds for the FRL in the near future. We have seen last year the possibility of Assetto Corsa 2 being released in 2024. Whether that is for certain yet remains in question. If you are joining us, or you have just joined us, we welcome you. Feel free to have a look in the YouTube description of all the leagues you can get involved with. the Discord channel as well. There's a website to have a look at what the FRL does. And of course there are the Facebook and Instagram pages for you to follow and keep right up to date with everything that's going on within the Formula Racing League ACC. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well, in case you haven't already done so. Less than 10 minutes to go in this practice session. Won't determine the grid, of course, but it's nice to get some mileage in and some good lap times on there. Laura's gone to the top with a 2:19 flat. It's a bit faster than what Busov had posted. Because it's a longer track, I would expect the lap times or the gaps to be bigger than what we've seen on most circuits so far this season. Good evening to, or good afternoon I should say, to Daniel Jota, who's joined in the live chat. Welcome, sir. Spa-Francorchamps has been on the Formula 1 calendar for a very, very long time. As Law makes his way back into the pit lane, they're situated on the exit of La Source and before Eau Rouge. Well, going back to what I was saying earlier, it's been host of the Belgian Grand Prix since 1980. Well, I say 1985. There has been a couple of years of hiatus where the track has undergone some changes, 2003 and 2006. But other than those years, Spa has hosted the Belgian Grand Prix in every single campaign since 1985. 1984, the Belgian round was held in Zolder. Used to alternate quite a bit with the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, but I think we know which circuit is better or more of the fans' favourite. Spa has played host to the Intercontinental GT Challenge, Spa 24 Hours, the 6 Hours of Spa, that's part of the World Endurance Championship. There's also the FIM Endurance World Championship as well. There's the Sidecar World Championship that's also held there, the European Le Mans Series with the 4 Hours of Spa, International GT Open, Euro Formula Open compete there, as do Formula 2 and Formula 3, 24-hour series. The Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. I've been going there since 2021. And of course there's the TCR Europe that is being held there. It used to host the Belgian MotoGP. The last time they did that was way back in 1990. And this configuration of Spa-Francorchamps has been around since 2007. The circuit undergone some changes, most especially to the final part of the lap where the bus stop chicane is. La Source as well. Remember, the bus stop chicane used to be almost like a slalom chicane, if you want to put it that way. And it used to be like a quick left and right, and then a quick right and left, going on to a very, very small pit straight, which was hardly a straight really, because the drivers at the back had to sort of see from an angle where the lights were. But with the pit straight as it is now, it's very much a pit straight where all the drivers can see the lights, and not to mention that we've got a secondary phase of lights as well towards the back of the field so that everyone can see. The sad news for Spa is that it is in its last contract to host the Belgian Grand Prix for Formula 1 this year. We don't know for certain whether it will be on the calendar in the foreseeable future after then. There have been rumours of Formula 1 going back to South Africa. It's inevitable they'll go back to China at some point. Whether Belgium will remain on the calendar with them is in the unknown right now. Bell Middleton goes over the line. It goes up to 4th place. It was an improvement by 0.3. And I think it's about time we go on a lap with someone. Go ball with the 17 of Palermo, who can take us on a lap. So he's going through La Source right now. We can go to him. So coming into Eau Rouge, lifting off the throttle in 6th gear, riding the curves, don't take too much, and don't cut the corner at the top of Radion, onto the Camel Straight, continuing at full gear, or full throttle I should say, over 8,300 RPM as you brake, and down to 2nd gear, 105 kilometers an hour, so you'll apply the throttle ever so smoothly, and through the right-hander of Malmedy, taking as much curve as you can on the exit, don't run too far out wide, and now to the hairpin of Bruxelles, and it's down to 1st gear this time, 85 kilometers an hour. Patience is the key thing before applying the throttle, so you don't get too much wheel spin on the exit. Using the outside curb on the exit of the corner with no name, and now to the fast left sweeper of Pouan. And it's 3rd gear through there, taking it very easily through there. I would expect the others to go there quicker when it comes to the qualifying laps. And now to the fast right and left hander of Fagna. 2nd gear. Again, waiting ever so patiently to apply the throttle to ensure he doesn't run too far out wide on the exit. This is Campus, using the curb on the exit to prepare for the fast right-hander of Stavolo. And then you've got a long journey past through the trees as you head towards Blanchimont. And I would expect Palermo to probably lift off the throttle here. Just a touch in 6th gear. 240 kilometers an hour, and now we head to the last braking zone of the lap, the bus stop chicane, and it's down to 1st gear. Perhaps braked a little bit too late there, outbraked himself, which will compromise his line as he approaches the last turn, and then he carry all the momentum on the exit, and that's the lap of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, courtesy of Palermo. So we've got 2.5 minutes to go, and Law is still fastest with a 2:19.0. The driver of the session so far has to be Frank though, with a 3 in the McLaren 321 with a 2:19.4. Got 25 drivers in the lobby right now. And Daniel's just keeping an eye on the times for Thursday's action, or for Thursday's race apparently that he will be competing in. And in terms of what's on Thursday, there's the GT4 Thursday event, along with the late night Tequila Summers at 11 PM. Mackenzie up there in 4th position in the Lexus. He's in need of a good result in what's been a rollercoaster season. He's missed 4 rounds at least, and he's had a couple of DNFs since then. So it's payback time for Kevin Mackenzie, who's in the lobby. As Frank runs wide. Freeman up there in 9th position. He's in need of a good result as well. And the 3 reserve drivers called in for tonight, they are Drifter, Cull and Nils. Nils in 11th position, Cull 12th. I don't think Drifter is in the lobby just yet. Actually, just looking at the chat, Drifter is out of the session apparently due to technical issues, so we should see LJ make his way into And Hutchinson just coming saying he's already in, apparently, so we have to wait and see whether we see any more drivers coming into the lobby. We've got 26 now. LJ's made his way into the lobby now, but he'll have to do his mileage in qualifying. So the checker flag is out now. There's Law, who's ended the session. Fastest of all. And so we wait for qualifying to commence. And Rapidoc isn't in the lobby still at the moment. I would expect him in there at any moment. If he's not in at all for tonight, then his championship lead is going to come down horribly by the end of tonight's action. He'll be under pressure going into the final round of the championship at Imola. So who's out on circuit still at the moment? We've got Mackenzie who's still out there, or Frank I should say. He's coming around to complete an improvement of time to end the session third quickest. So qualifying has begun now, so we should expect to see the drivers out on circuit. We've got 27 in there now. Aldori has made his way into the lobby. Robinson wasting no time getting on track. It's a long circuit, 7 kilometres. I'm being told that Rui is out of action tonight for whatever reason. We're just waiting at the moment on Drifter and Rapidoc to make their way in, whenever that will be. So there's Robinson, 336. Oh, that's Hutchinson, I should say. This is Robinson. I was looking at the wrong car. So how will this session end? Who is in the frame for pole position? Now, if you're needing to get out there to avoid traffic, you want to get out there now, really. So can Robinson improve or build on his qualifying form? Last week he was 9th, the round before he was 2nd. He hasn't been able to convert a lot of that into his race pace this season. And then back at the first round in Hungary, he was on pole, ended up finishing 15th. And looking at all the races he has done, there's only been 2 races, or 3 actually, where he's actually finished higher than he was on the grid. He's going through Radion now, and onto the Camel Straight. There is what looks to be Bustov ahead, who should move out of the way, as he's not on a fast lap. So Robinson going for pole. He is 9th in the championship. He's mathematically still in the hunt with 82 points left on the table. He's 79 points behind, but he'll need Rapidoc to not score, really, to stay in the hunt, and he would also need to win and ideally get pole. I don't think he'll be thinking about the championship at this moment in time. What I will mention, though, is the battle in the teams championship, because 5 points separate the top 4 teams going into this round. Well, FRL Admin Elite Motorsports are in the lead by a point over TK Rex Motorsport. So the FRL Admin Elite Motorsports have Hutchison and Robinson alongside each other. TK Rex have Moritz and Pavizel, both of which are in tonight. Pro Motor Motorsport have Law and Ray, that are a further point back in third, with the Tuga Racing Team in fourth, with Rapidoc and Rui as the 2 drivers on 315, 5 points off. Well, neither of them are in the lobby at the moment. We should expect Rapidoc to be in there soon. How soon that will be, I don't know yet, but if he's out of action and Rui's out of action, the team won't score points. Code Brown Racing are in fifth on 57 points behind. So with Vodka and Palermo racing tonight, they didn't compete last week, but they need a good haul of points to get back into the hunt for the team's championship, to keep it alive at Imola, which is very much likely to be the case. Well, Robinson's gone over the line then with a 2 minutes 20.5. We expect that lap time to come down into at least the low 2 minute 19s. Fighter has gone second with a 2 minutes 22.2. We've got Babizzle who goes to the top with a 2 minutes 20.3, nearly a couple of tenths faster than what Robinson had posted. We've seen a few more drivers cross over the line. We've got the 14 heading over the line. That is Moggs who goes quickest of all. 2 minutes 19.3, a whole second faster than what Babizzle had posted. Davis Jr. has gone to the front row, half a second adrift in the high 2 minutes 19s. So it's a good effort for a first attempt. Nils goes fifth. Clayton is sixth now in the Mercedes AMG. And now Frank's gone top, carrying on his pace from practice earlier. MGK has posted the first sub 2 minute 19 of the night, 2 minutes 18.8. So MGK, who's mathematically in the hunt for the championship, needing a good, strong result to stay in the hunt for the title. Milden, third in the Ferrari. It's a solid effort from him. The 99 is next up behind, which is Morex, who had a lackluster time last week at Watkins Glen. Fell to the back of the field after damage on the second lap. Then he got penalised for speeding in the pit lane. And his race was all but done, really, and just made it to the end and just getting some points, even though he was at the back of the field by the end of it. 7th so far, over a second off the pace. Got the 4.44 heading over the line. Couldn't tell who that was. I think that might have been Cool, who's just started the lap. Next is the 51, which is LJ, exiting the last turn. This lap of his is good enough to only see him start his first flying lap. So he's yet to get a lap on the board so far. Next behind him will be the 678 of Prentice, who wasn't in last week. This lap time of his, well, it's not actually a lap time, it's either an out lap or it was an invalid one for running wide. The 336 of Robinson, only 11th as we speak. Got the 702 of Fighter, who was not able to improve on his previous effort. He remains at the bottom of all those that have set lap times, so work to do for him. Now we've got the number 9 coming through. I can't quite tell who the number 9 car is because it's not showing on the classification on there. That's Freeman, actually. It's showing 9 on the map, but it's actually 8 on his graphic. He is actually in the number 8 car, but it was showing him number 9 on the map. Busov is 9th at the moment. Law is 8th so far with a 2 minutes 19.3. And MGK is top with a 2 minutes 18.5, doing very well so far. Milden does not improve his lap time. He remains in P3. And we've got Hudson in the pits at the moment. McKenzie coming through Pouan. Alex is in P12. And Rapidoc is finally in now. He's out on circuit, but he hasn't got a lot of time to get much mileage in. This is LJ. Now, what can LJ produce here? He's one of 10 drivers at the moment, maybe 11 if Drifter can make his way back in. LJ crosses the line to only go 18th. 2.5 seconds off the pace. This is Jay Prentice who's coming through. Hopefully to look to get his first time on the board. He goes 21st. Mackenzie behind. Goes only 12th. And this is right in the midfield there. Hudson out on circuit. Ray is yet to get a time on the board. El Prentice is on circuit now. Aldori and Rapidoc are on track. Aldori heading over the line. Is this a lap time or is it a beginning of a flying lap? It's the beginning of a flying lap. Not a lot of time left. Over 5 minutes to go. MGK is still setting the pace over everyone else, but only by a 10th. Busov right in there, continuing his good form in the Audi. No rain is expected. 17 degrees air temperature. Track temperature 21 degrees as well. And MGK was able to improve his time ever so slightly. It's a 2 minute 18.4 now. Got the number 58. It's shown as the number 58, so I can't quite tell who's that car. Oh, it's Ray who's just crossed over the line. So he's just beginning a fast lap now. And Rapidoc has started a flying lap. He hasn't got a lot of chances left, so he needs to crack on with this to get himself at least into the top 10. Milden 5th, Nils 6th. So we've got a 2-1-2 coming through. That is Vodka. Needs a strong result here. He wasn't competing last week, but needs to make up for that now. And it's only good enough for 8th. It wasn't any improvement that time either. Only 9th. I've got the 303 of Davis Jr. going 7th fastest. I don't think he actually improved on the effort he's just done. We've got the 43 coming through. That is El Prentice. And it's not an improvement from him either. For Bizzle. Difficult time of it last week. And he's not made an improvement here so far. Got the 444 hanging over the line. That is Cole. Only 11th fastest and he stays 11th quickest. The 95, that is Busov, is still second. What can Aldori do as he comes out of the bus stop chicane now? Can he move up the order here? Not on this occasion. Got the 702 next behind, that is Fighter. He does not move up the order. Got Mackenzie on a lap as we speak. He's coming out of the bus stop chicane now. Less than 3 minutes to go. He's 14th at the moment. And he does not move up the order that time around. Moggs is coming over the line, 4th at the moment. And he stays 4th. Got the 555 coming through. That is Mertens, who's only P18. This is Hutchinson, who's still yet to get a lap on the board. So if he doesn't get a lap time here, he will only have one more go at it as he crosses over the line. Ray goes 22nd. Hudson displaces him. He goes up to 21st place now. Just 3 drivers yet to get a time on the board. Mikowski's in the pits, so he'll be starting at the back. Al Prentice is coming through as well. We want to go to the front because MGK is still quickest and he's on a flying lap. Got the 500 crossing over the line. Now is Clayton, who's heading over the line. He stays in P17. Rapidoc is 16th at the moment. So work to do for him. But MGK, can he improve on the time before? He does not improve on the time before. He is still on provisional pole. Moritz is 10th, Freeman is 11th. Mackenzie having connection issues at the moment, but he's okay now. 43 of L Prentice is coming over the line now to get his first time on the board. And it wasn't actually a time that he was able to post on that occasion. We've got the 444 of Cull heading over the line now. This will be, he'll have an opportunity to go again. We've got the 95 coming through now that he's boosted off. Can he knock MGK off pole position? No, he can't. I wonder if the track is beginning to fall away from the drivers, because we're not seeing too many improvements. So the number 15 heading over the line, that will be Aldori, who goes 19th. Got the 777 next up. 30 seconds to go. Mackenzie, what can he do with the lap he's about to complete? He's P16 currently. And he goes up to 13th, so he was able to improve ever so slightly, but good enough to move him up a few positions. Number 48 of Rapiduck is coming through now, the championship leader. He stays in P17, but he'll have one more go at it. Got Ray Thomas coming over the line now. He'll get over the line before the checkered flag falls, and he's still in 24th position. And the number 22 will be the first driver to take the checkered flag. That's Hutchison, and he goes only 17th. So he moves Rapiduck down a position. We've got the 500 coming through. That is Clayton. The bus stop chicane. He navigates round. He's P19. Can he move Rapiduck further down the order here? He can. He goes into the top 10. So that was a radical improvement. He improved by more than half a second on that effort. Well, Freeman down to 12th, but can he move himself back up a position or two with this last effort? Better than that, goes up to P6. So he was able to improve by around about 4 tenths. We saw someone make an improvement up the order. I think that's Davis Jr. Goes 4th fastest now. We've got the 6, 7, 8 coming through of Jay Prentice, who stays in 26th, the slowest of all the drivers that have posted lap time. This is L Prentice, who's coming through, beats him by a considerable margin and goes 22nd. We've got more drivers heading over the line. Milden's on a lap, presumably. The number 17's crosses over the line now. That is Palermo, who is only 26th. Got the 95 coming through now. He's boosted off. And he's not improving, actually, so he'll stay where he is in second position, but he'll have taken that at the beginning, no doubt. Finally, we've got the 702 coming through. It looks as though Mackenzie's having connection issues at the moment, so hopefully we'll get back to us in time. Fight to go 16th, which is not bad. We've got the number 5 coming through now. That is Ben Milden in the Ferrari. Is he going to get made back into the top 5? Just find a couple of tenths. No improvement. Stays where he is. Got Rapiduck. Last chance for him to improve on his time. And he only goes 10th. It's a big jump, actually, for Rapiduck, so very well done to him right at the end. But it's MGK who ends qualifying on pole position here at Spa. Very, very well done to him. And it's Busov who will be alongside him on the front row of the grid. And MGK takes his second pole, the first one coming in round 6 of the championship. That would have been in Barcelona, where he had won. And Frank in the top 3 on the grid. That's his best qualifying of the season so far as I know. I'm just looking through the numbers at the moment in terms of where was Frank's previous best grid position before tonight. I can't seem to find his name, unfortunately. Which is oh yeah, I found it now. His best qualifying was 7th at Silverstone. So Frank has done very well to get himself up there in third place and 2/10 off the pole time. Davis Jr. alongside him on the second row with Moggs and Nils in fifth and sixth. Freeman and Law in a respectable 7th and 8th, with Milden and Rapidoc rounding out the top 10. Vivka and Clayton are next behind in 11th and 12th. Papizel 13th ahead of Morex. Cole and McKenzie are 15th and 16th. McKenzie was able to get back in time, or at least his time is registered. Robinson and Fighter on the 9th row of the grid, with Andy and Hutchison in 19th and 20th. Aldori and Mertens on row 11, followed by L. Prentice and LJ. Ray ahead of Palermo on the 13th row, with Prentice and Drifter, who's joined in time on row 19. Oh, not row 19, no, row 14, I should say. Get my numbers wrong there. Makovsky right at the back. So hopefully Drifter is able to compete. Although he may not do, as he's having his own technical maladies as we speak. So, in order for the championship to be decided, Rapidoc just simply needs to win the race, regardless of where everyone else finishes. He's down in 10th place, but we know what he can do from there. We have seen him come through the field before. Rapidoc's lowest grid position has been 10th before. That was at the opening round at the Hungaroring. He's 10th here at Spa. But on that occasion at Hungaroring, he came home in 4th place, which is a very, very good result. The rain is coming down. It is, I would say it's leaning towards light rain, I should say. The track is damp, but it is expected to dry up as the race goes on. I would expect the drivers to be on at least all-weather tyres, if not full wets. For these conditions, it'd be very silly otherwise. It'd be a formation lap. They are on the alternate pit straight, which is just before Eau Rouge, but the start-finish straight is on the pit straight, as you would know. And I don't think Mackenzie's got back in time, so I think if he's going to start this race, it will have to be from the pit lane. There's 2 minutes to go, so anyone having connection issues, like Mackenzie for instance, still has time to get back in, but not a lot of time. And MGK is worried as to which tyres he should start the race on. I'm very sure all the other drivers will be thinking the same. I will mention as well that only a driver's 9 best results out of 10 this season will count towards their drivers' championship total. Now, bearing in mind some of which have already missed a race this season, or at least DNF'd one of the races. The likes of Hutchison, who's finished every single race, will need to drop his lowest score. And it's the same with Morex as well, who's finished every single round, his worst finish being a 24th place finish at Watkins Glen, which he won't be too fussed about, but he will need to drop those 7 points unless he worsens his lowest score either here or next week at Imola. Well, Mackenzie's back in now, but he will be starting from the pit lane as far as I know. Seems to be having some internet glitch at the moment. We'll run down on the grid as the formation lap begins. It's going to be very interesting indeed to see how the drivers cope in these conditions, especially up through Eau Rouge, one of the most notorious corners or sections of any professional race circuit. And MGK will lead the field on the formation lap. Now, I wonder how many of the drivers will decide to start this race from the pit lane, because things could get pretty chaotic on the opening lap before it does calm down. So MGK is on pole position with Busov alongside him in the Audi, both of which trying to, well, I say both of which, MGK in particular looking to stay in championship contention. Then it's Frank and Davis Jr. on the second row with Moggs and Nils on row 3. Then we've got Freeman and Law with Milden and Rapidoc next behind, making up the top 10. Vivka and Clayton are on row 6, followed by Previzel and Morix, with Cole and Robinson on the 8th row, followed by Fighter and Andy. Hudson and Eldori ran out the top 20. We've got Mertens and Prentice on the 11th row. We have LJ and Ray. Palermo, Jay Prentice are on row number 13. Mikowski is at the back. McKenzie, unsurprisingly, is going to start this race from the pit lane. No sign of Drifter coming back in either, so I think the 28 car field is what it's going to be for tonight. It would have been nice to see Drifter in action again. With his technical issues, it doesn't appear to be that he will be able to fix that in time or give it a go as the racing commences. So like I say, it'll be a formation lap and it'll be a rolling start. And the rain is expected to stop within the next few minutes as well, so this is going to make for a very, very interesting race. And I wonder who is starting the race on all-weather tyres and who's starting on full wets, or even those on slicks. It'd be very brave if he did it on slicks now. Drivers' Championship up for grabs, and most certainly the Teams Championship. The Teams Championship likely to go down to the wire. MGK goes into this race, what is now 55 points off. He goes level with Moritz on points. In order for him to stay in the championship fight, he needs to outscore Rapidoc by at least 15 points. And as it stands, with the, if you were to apply the current grid positions to what could be the race result, it would keep the championship alive, but only just. Drivers are coming through Blanchimont now, so MGK will back them up. And I don't think Mackenzie's actually going to take the start now, because he's out of the lobby and he's still having his connection issues, which has put him out of action, which is a huge shame for Mackenzie, who's not having the best of campaigns. He was out on his travels for another number of weeks before he came back a couple of weeks ago, but he's not had the best return in form in Taco Tuesday. The drivers are coming into their rows of 2 now. Mackenzie has got back to the pits again. He's in the lobby, so we'll just see if he can actually get going from the pit lane when the drivers go through Eau Rouge. So, MGK and Busov, who will lead into La Source first? We're waiting for the green flag to fall. Drivers must adhere to the speed limit of 70 kilometers an hour before the green flag is waved. And we are I was going to say, oh, we go. I think the green flag will be waved the next time they come down to Eau Rouge, I think it is, or just before Eau Rouge, so just hold your horses for the time being until the race does actually get underway here. So MGK waiting for the green flag to be waved by the marshal that's on the alternate pit straight. We'll get the indication as well on the screen to say that the race has started. The green flag has been waved and the drivers are off. Now, who will go into Eau Rouge first? MGK will do so. It looks as though that Frank has got ahead of Busov already. A car off on the grass at Eau Rouge. Hopefully he keeps himself out of trouble. That might have been five to have gone through the escape road. But he's come back on safely, it seems. But it's MGK in the lead with Busov in second. Well, Frank is in second place as they come into the first sector. So we should see the classification update. And behind them looks to be Moggs, who's in third position. Presumably, no, it's Nils. Nils is in third place. There's Davis Jr., followed by Busov, who's down a few positions, down to sixth place. And Hutchison looks to have been caught up in some first lap mayhem, unfortunately, so he's down at the back. And the rain seems to have stopped. So it wouldn't be at all surprised if Hutchison just went straight onto full wet. Pit window is open, so anyone can come in for their mandatory stops. They only need to do one mandatory stop in this one. It's a 60-minute race. And Freeman's up there in sixth position. He's made up good ground, as has Law. Moggs and Rapidoc are 8th and 9th. Rapidoc taking it easy as he gets past Moggs on the exit of Pouon. The two make contact, and whereas Moggs is falling into the clutches of Milden, who's next to take advantage. We've got a spinner at the back. I think that's the number 15 of Aldori, who's gone for a spin, but continues. Just need to be careful not to rejoin to the path of another driver that's coming through there. That is Hutchinson. But I think other than that, it's nothing too chaotic. But MGK has made a mistake somewhere, and Frank is pulling alongside, and he could take the lead here as they come towards Blanchimont now. 5 drivers in the chase for the race lead, and it's only the first lap, and Frank is ahead. So Frank has taken advantage of MGK's error, and he's got through into the lead. That's Law going off track. He just needs to be careful not to gain an advantage or exceed track limits too many times, otherwise he could be penalised later on. We're watching Nils go right round the outside, which will give him the inside line for the left-hander before the pit straight, and he goes through and into what looks to be second position now. So the drivers are completing that one with Frank in the lead. Nils second, MGK third, ahead of Law and Davis Jr. Busov is sixth. Rapidoc up to 7th now. I think we've seen someone drop down the order heavily as well. But Rapidoc is doing a fine job so far. He's pulling alongside Busov now, which will give him... Well, it looks like he was going to go through there for a moment, but Busov has held his nerve and he stays in the position he's in. We'll see in... Ooh, and Clayton going through Radion there and nearly collecting Robinson on the way out of it. So Robinson surely must be going through on this occasion. Oh, and it looks like someone's dropped back there. I can't quite tell who that is. And it looks like is that Milden is slowing, or is that someone else that's slowing? It looks like someone else that was slowing. That might have been Fighter, you know, who has had a torrid first lap. Well, he's at the back anyway, so it might have been someone else who was struggling. Freeman, who was right up there, has had an issue with someone or something, but he's kept going. And Laura's got past MGK now, so I wonder if MGK has started either on full wet and has struggled during the course of the race so far, but he's not quite showing the pace of what we saw in qualifying earlier on. The track is greasy at the moment, so it may not be time for the dry tyres yet, but we are sort of getting close to that threshold anyway. We've got the number 22 in the pits. That'll be Hutchison, who's repairing some damage. The number 16 has made a mistake. That is Andy, who's had his second spin of the race, unfortunately, and the bonnet is damaged on that car. So, that's him having another off day, unfortunately. But Frank is in the lead now with Nils in second place, but Law could well take that place off him in a moment. We've got MGK under threat from Davis Jr. now, who's another one of those in the championship fight. Rapidoc up there in sixth position now. He's got ahead of Busov. We're watching Davis Jr. make a move on MGK, it looks like, for a moment, but he has to stop back in behind before they go through the bus stop chicane. And it looks like Law has got in front for a moment, but he's ducked into the pits. So Law coming in, getting his stop done now, and he's probably going to go on to slicks. Frank is also in, so Frank from the race lead is also in the pits. Robinson, likewise, Clayton, Milden also coming in. There's a flurry of activity already, and we're only 2 laps in. So, I just wonder what tyres Neil's actually started the race on. Well, MGK, I think, may have started on the old weather tyres, to be honest with you, as he goes through Radion, although probably not the best way of going through that. But the drivers have just pitted in. They can use it as their mandatory stops and they can go to the end. So Nils is your race leader on track. MGK back into second position now with Davis Jr. third. Rapiduc, Busov, Moggs and Vodka are next behind. Moritz is up to 8th now. Kull is 9th. And in 10th place should be Kevin McKenzie, who started from the pit lane. Trying to make up for the mishap he caused when he came together with Mackenzie at Watkins Glen, which effectively ended both of their races. And Hutchinson is almost about to be lapped by Nils. He's a bit further ahead actually, so we won't need to worry about being lapped for now. He's already made his mandatory stop, and these who are about to come up to lap him have not done so. Always good to go to the end. You will score points if you finish the race. 40 points for a win, remember, right all the way down to 30th. That would get 1, but we've only got 28 in the lobby, so if you finish the race you'll get at least 3 championship points. I'm sure Hutchinson will be going for more than that. So Nils stays out for the time being. And Davis Jr. is coming into the pits. Rapiduc stays out. Vodka also taking time out and heading down pit road. There's Mackenzie also taking the opportunity to pit in. Needs to do so carefully, which he does. That will throw LJ up another position. 3 laps done. We've just seen a battle going on further behind as well. I think that was Aldori making his way through the field. Nikovsky's there as well. Provisional and Palermo. And Freeman is in 16th place. Mertens also coming in. So it seems to be like everyone is getting their mandatory stops done now because of the weather conditions to go onto dry tyres. Now, we don't know whether the rain will return. If it was to return, then I would imagine the drivers will probably go on to all-weather tyres for this first stop, unless they are brave enough to make the most of the benefit they would have from being on slicks before they have to come in again and go back onto wets. Well, we're not quite at that stage yet anyway. Busov has managed to get back ahead of Rapiduc now into 3rd place, so Rapiduc is dropping back a couple of a position. He's got the fastest up of the race so far. Bearing in mind we've only done 3 laps, and this is Moggs trying to make his way through the field. So I think Rapiduc is beginning to struggle on the tyres that he's on, as Busov is continuing to pull away. Now can Moggs find his way through? So Moggs looking for a move, can't quite do it there yet. He's coming down through Stavolo. He'll be into the slipstream of the BMW, and Moggs will pull off this overtake here, no question. Rapiduc not fighting it too much. So he allows the Ferrari to go through up to 4th now. And what is Nils deciding to do this lap? Is he going to pit in or is he going to stay out for another one? Staying out. MGK staying out. I would expect Rapiduc to probably come into the pit lane to change tyres. And he's doing that now. So after 4 laps, he is now in. Moritz has stayed out there. Kull is heading into the pit lane. LJ stays out. What about Aldori and Makovsky? Are they both heading for the pit lane? Well, Aldori is. Palermo stays out. So Bizzle's the last one at the moment who has actually got damage to the bonnet. So he's had an off somewhere. So he'll definitely make his way into the pits. And now we've got a battle for the lead because Nils and MGK are going side by side on the Kemmel Straight. Can MGK get back the race lead on the road? He can. So MGK back into the lead here at Spa, with Nils having to slot in behind in P2. Long way to go yet in this one. And Frank is ahead of all those that have pitted, with Davis Jr. not too far behind. And the 9 cars have yet to take their mandatory stops. And MGK is just come up to lap. Well, it looks to be Mertens who has already made his stop. Mertens is right at the back in 28, although Andy has yet to make his mandatory stop. He's still suffering with the damage he's got to the bonnet. He has had a horrible race so far. And there's Rapid Duck coming out of the pits now. He's on the alternate pits, as he's going through Eau Rouge now. I don't think he's going to get out in front of Frank, unfortunately, so he's behind him. He's also behind Davis Jr. And he's coming back out on track safely. What looks to be... we're just waiting for the standings to update as they go through the first sector. I think Rapid Duck is shown in 12th position. And Bizzle in the pits. It's been another off day for him as well. MGK's lead is over 4.5 seconds over Nils now, as Busov has got past him. Now Busov has got the move done into La Source, presumably, and he's got through into P2, so Nils down to 3rd place now. Moggs next behind, waiting to pounce as Palermo comes in. MGK with the fast stop of the race. The lap time we saw for pole in qualifying was a 2 minute 18. 2 minutes 26, but that time will come down soon enough. Once the track picks up during the course of today. It's 12:42 p.m. now 12:43. It's running at twice the speed of real time here at Spa, so we're not expecting any darkness or anything like that. Moggs is in 5th, through Pouon. And Moggs is looking to make a move on Nils as they come up towards Fania. And we've had a spin involving the 51, that is LJ, who's gone off the track somewhere and has lost the place to Freeman and Makovsky. So that's to Nils and Moggs as they still fighting for it. P3 as they go through campus. Stavolo is next. See a change of position. It was a little bit brave from Nils moving across like that, but Moggs is still carrying on regardless. And they're coming towards the final chicane of the lap, the bus stop chicane. And Nils makes his way into the pit lane. MGK still hasn't stopped yet. Frank and Davis Jr. going through full on. And Mills hasn't stopped in his box yet, I don't think. Or has he? No, he's just going through the pit lane on the pit straight to go round towards the alternate pits. So that's how you have to go through. It's a long pit lane actually. Now, is he going to get in front of Frank and Davis Jr. and Rapidoc? It's vital that Mills does so. In terms of laps, we are probably expecting around about 25, I would say. Frank and Davis Jr. coming round as Mills is in his box at the moment. Not off the jacks yet. So it's trying to call with the fast step of the race in the Bentley. Mills has done his stop now, but it's too late. Rapidoc will get in front of him for sure. I think Law will go past him. I think Robinson may just miss out on this occasion. Although he might just get in front of him here actually. So Robinson goes through. Clayton also gets through. And Nils has lost out horribly in all of that. So, as we watch Cull go past what looks to be Clayton into 12th place. So we've got 7 drivers yet to make their mandatory stops. We have lost a driver in this race. Can't quite tell who it has been. It's not Andy, it's not Fizzle. Hutchison is still in the race. And the apprentices are still going at the moment anyway. So Mills is down in 15th position. There's still a few more drivers yet to come into the pits. MGK making his way through back markers. Race off likewise Moritz. Not as much as we speak. I think once he does come up to the back markers, that's when he'll probably decide to pit in. Mikowski and LJ are next behind in 5th and 6th. Davis Jr. closing up behind Frank in the battle for 7th place on the road, which could well be more. No rain expected for the next 15 minutes. James Jr. behind Frank in the battle for P7. MGK closing up towards McKenzie, who's already stopped. Will he come in at the end of this lap for his mandatory stop? As it stands where Rapidoc is currently, the championship would still be alive. Only as a mathematical certainty. It looks like Fighter is back in the pits now. He's had an incident somewhere. I'm just trying to think who was the driver that had either disconnected or left. I think that might be Mikowski, who's had an issue somewhere, and he's no longer in the lobby. Oh no, he is still in. Sorry, my apologies, I'll take my word back. We're on lap number 9. MGK going through Bruxelles. Setting some very, very strong pace, looking good out in front. Still 2/3 of this race still to go. Change in the battle between Frank and Davis Jr. Frank with the fast lap of the race now. It's 2 minutes 20.4, so the track is definitely picking up and the lap times are improving. Through the last chicane. And you can see it ahead. You can see make up positions after a difficult start to the night. Got the 7:02 in the pits. We've also had an off from someone. Oh, it looks like Vodka has been in the wars. And who's that they've collided? Is that Nils has been together with him? I think it is. Both of them have had a skirmish somewhere. And both have suffered damage. That's obviously significant to the championship because Vodka was one of those still in contention for the title. And I think those hopes have now been evaporated after his contact with Nils at Eau Rouge. Fighter is back in the pits and looks to be out of the race. Freeman just going through the pit lane at La Source at the moment, so not too long before he stops at his marks. MGK keeps his car out of trouble. And Nils should stay out of the way here. You can see he's dropping back, he's just staying out of the way, going through the runoff area, not interfering with anyone else's race. Nils is off the track, just avoids the wall, and he's out of the race. So Nils goes no further, and Vodka could be another to join him on the sidelines. Where will Freeman rejoin? Frank has overtaken him, as has Davis Jr. And plenty of others have gone past him. Well, Freeman's done his stop now, and he's going to be right. He's going to be down the order behind the 43, which is El Prentice, and he'll be down in 15th place now. Vodka is in the pits. It'll be like an eternity going down that. Vodka stopping in, well, he's just still going through the pit lane at the moment. So we've just got 6 drivers, as we speak, still need to make their mandatory stops. Andy's still going out there with that horrible damage to the front of his car. I'm surprised he hasn't pitted in yet to get that repaired. And rain is expected in around about 15 minutes time. And that could obviously change things. That's probably what MGK is also thinking about. And Nils apologising to Vodka as well for the contact. I don't know if Vodka will choose to carry on. Depends how much he feels about the championship. Pretty much out of the frame now for him, with Rabidov up there in 9th place, which will likely be higher than that once everyone else has stopped. If they all start sliding all over the place at Eau Rouge once the rain comes down or wherever, then that would most certainly change things. Or that could change things, I should say. Well, Frank is still in front of Davis Jr. in 6th place now. I have to say that, in terms of, I think Jay Prentice had left earlier as well. He's had some connection issues, it seems, so his race is all but done. Fighter hasn't returned to the track. Nils is going back out on circuit now, but he's out of sync. I don't know if Vodka will choose to go back on circuit. Well, who was that? Look, it was that MGK. Okay, that was a green car. Oh no, Jay Prentice is still in the race. I'll take my word back. It will have to be someone else that had dropped out of the race earlier. So I'll have to take my word back for that. LJ winning his own race in 5th place. He's probably thinking about the weather. In 15 minutes time, light rain it is. Will it get even heavier from when it falls? MGK going through set 2. Saw Busov closing down the gap slightly. It's 2.7 at set 1, but it's gone back up again to 3.2. MGK responding to that. There's a car going off at Fania. Couldn't quite tell who that was. It's at the 16 that's gone off circuit. That's Andy, who is still trailing around with the damage he's got as Mertens goes through ahead of him. And Andy's really struggling now. If I was him, I'd probably maybe consider pitting, although he may decide to wait until the weather returns and then save him having to do a pit stop, but he's already a long way behind everyone else. MGK, Busov. Moritz is just going through the bus stop chicane. Kowski, another 10 seconds back in P4. Vodka hasn't returned to the circuit yet, and I think Nils is back in, so Nils not having the best time of it, so that could well be his race run for good. LJ is in the pits now though. There's another car ahead of him there that is coming in. Is that Nils has just gone round? I think that may well be Nils, so Mikowski stays out, trying to find as much grip as possible. Busov responding to MGK. He must have made a little bit of a mistake somewhere. We're coming to the halfway point in this race now. We're on lap 13. Freeman with the fast lap of the race so far. in the Mercedes AMG. As it stands with the positions as they are, Rapidoc is actually in front of Davis Jr. now. So Davis Jr. has made an error, and Cole and Rapidoc are ahead of him. So he's dropped back horribly from Frank. So that changes things in regards to the championship. Morix is ahead of them though, but I don't think Morix would do enough to stay in the hunt for the title. He's running in third place, which would give him 36 championship points. And Rapidoc, who is 8th, would only get 26. So Morix would still be out of it, but with MGK on course for the win at the moment, along with his pole position point, although Rapidoc will be ahead of LJ now, so he goes up to 7th place. MGK, I think, would still miss out on a chance to try and go for the title. He's in the pits now, though. Important one in the race. LJ exits the pits behind what looks to be the 43 who's just gone through there. That is El Prentice and Freeman fighting over position on track. Freeman looking for a move into Lecombe. Big goes almost for a spin, and El Prentice is able to keep hold of the place for now. Nils is back on circuit again, which is a bit of a surprise, but Fuvka's race is going no further, and that's him out of the running for the title. Morix is in, so we've only got 3 drivers left in the race who need to take their mandatory stops. Rossi in 3rd, Busov continuing on. Now, where is Frank? Frank is there. And number 58 trundling down the pit lane, that's Ray, who I think has been in the wars somewhere, and this could well spell the end of his race, unfortunately. It's not having a good second half of the season, it has to be said, for him, after a promising beginning to the championship. Well, Frank is coming round now. MGK is off the mark. He's leaving his box. But I think Frank is going to be ahead of him here. He is, and Frank goes ahead of MGK. MGK will be on better tyres though. It may take a lap or so to get those up to temperature. But Frank is the net race leader. It's MGK who effectively rejoins in 2nd place. He needs to be winning this one. Law is up there in 5th, ahead of Rapidoc, who's now 6th. And then we've got Cools, who's right behind Davis Jr., who has just got in front of him now. So Davis Jr. going back up into 8th place. Busov is in the Audi. I don't expect him to keep hold of the lead, but will Mikowski decide to go into the lead for the time being, or will he decide to pit also? He's going into the pits. So, other than Andy, everyone else has made their mandatory stops, but with the weather coming back into play, we could see more pit lane activity. There's Frank. Looking very good. This is definitely his best race so far this season. He's made quite a step up in form from where he was in Tier 3 last season. He won at Mount Panorama when he was fighting for the win with Darskell. MGK 6 seconds back. Really claw back that margin. The rain is expected to return in around about 5 minutes' time. I'd be interested to know which tyres each driver is on what. Can't quite tell from any information that I know of. Busov and Mikowski are still in the pits at the moment. Frank will go into the lead for certain. MGK, is he going to get in front of Busov there? I think Busov had a better stop than MGK. Busov is leaving the pits now, but is MGK going to get in front? I think Busov's done him. So Busov comes out. MGK is there, but Busov has just got out in front of him, has he? No, MGK's just got in front of him again. But the gap is definitely closer than it was last time. MGK's got his tyres up to temperature. Busov is yet to get his tyres up to temperature. Law is through, Rapidoc is through, Davis Jr., Cull, Milden, Clayton should go through. That's Ray who's just come out of the pits. A long way back. Looks like Robinson's got through also. So Mikowski is behind Robinson. Is he behind Moritz as well? Or is he in front of him? He's in front of Moritz. So he was able to get ahead of Moritz. And there's Frank in the lead still. MGK in second place. He needs every point he can get to stay in the hunt for the title. Now we've got a reality of how this championship can be decided. As it stands, with the positions as they are, Rapidoc will take the championship. Because Davis Jr. is in 6th place, 1 position behind him. The gap will be 41 points between those two. Vodka is out of the race, so he won't be improving his score. Moritz is further down the order. He won't be staying in the hunt for the title. MGK is in 2nd place. He would close down the gap by 6 points, or 7 points, I should say, on Rapidoc. That won't keep him in the title, in the hunt for the title, unfortunately. Law will be out of it as well, and so will everyone else. So it's looking very good for Rapidoc in 5th position. All he needs to do is keep Davis Jr. behind him. The rain that is about to fall, we expect it to be a short spell before we return to dry conditions. Rapidoc just needs to keep his car on track. MGK closing down the gap on Frank. The gap is 5 seconds. We are now on lap 16. The penultimate round of the Taco Tuesday series. In the pro category, is Rapidoc going to wrap up the championship in style? It's looking ever so good for him. Don't have any previous information on Rapidoc in this championship. So it's been a stellar season from him since he's first joined. He's been consistent. He's only missed 1 round, which was in Barcelona. Could be even better and moving himself up the order. He's 5 seconds behind Law, but that's not his focus at the moment. The focus is on Davis Jr., who's 2.6 seconds behind the BMW driver and champion-elect. Andy's done his stop now, so everyone has made their stops. Top 22 all on the lead lap as we speak. And it looks as though the rain has returned. Oh, we saw Frank running wide a little bit. We haven't seen any penalties being dished out due to track limits. We could well get 1 or 2 before this race is over. And there's Frank, who just needs to take it ever so easy. The gap between him and MGK is down to 4.5 seconds. Busov with a new fastest lap of the race. Should be a 2:18, I would have thought. So 2:19.6. I don't really see anyone going to be improving on that because of the conditions as they are now. The rain only to be around for about 5 minutes. Now, who is on dries and who's on all weathers? Well, that's the information that we don't have, unfortunately. We've just seen Davis Jr. is close in on Rapiduc, as is Cole. And Rapiduc, I wonder if he's beginning to struggle in these conditions now, as Davis Jr. continues to close in on him. You can see, you don't need the gap to tell you how close it is between the two. Eight tenths. Now, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Davis Jr. moves in front of Rapiduc, who is not used to these conditions, or isn't as strong in these conditions as he is in the dry. .2 seconds is the gap between Frank and MGK at the front. We're watching the battle for 5th position between Rapiduc, Davis Jr. and Cull. Ben Milden's another 2.5 seconds behind the trio. Mackenzie moving in front of Moritz now. Moritz beginning to struggle, but Mackenzie seems to be flying in these conditions, it seems. Keeps going. Wants to pick up the pace. 4.6 seconds is the margin between Frank and MGK. Rapiduc is still ahead of Davis Jr., who's 6 tenths behind now. The truck is greasy. And we've got an off. It's the 144 that's made a mistake. That is Nils, who's already been in the wars today. Just before Campus stays out of the way of cars that are ahead of him in race position. Now Dory moving in front of LJ now, who seems to be struggling. Here's Mackenzie, who is 8.9 seconds behind, making it good ground. We've got the number 16 off the circuit. That is Andy, who has got off the track and he's back in the pits, so that could well be his day's work done. And Davis Jr. is in front of Rapiduc now. We didn't see the overtake, but Davis Jr. is in front. That changes the picture in the championship, as Rapiduc looks to fend off Cole now. I think Rapiduc made a similar mistake to what he did on the last lap and didn't take through Eau Rouge as sweetly as he would like to have done, and Davis Jr. has taken advantage. Now, as it stands, Davis Jr. would stay in the hunt for the title. Rapiduc needs to get back ahead of him if he wants to wrap the championship up tonight. LJ in the pits. And he suffered damage, unfortunately, so the conditions are catching him out. And Frank and MGK going through the Funya. Rapiduc and Cull going through Pouan. And see, Rapiduc isn't really attacking the corners as well as Davis Jr. is, and Cull is just right up on his gearbox, taking a slightly different line to gain extra say. Oh, and Rapiduc had a twitchy moment on the exit of Funya. That's going to compromise his line into Campus. He takes Stavlo nicely. We'll stay with him and see how he actually goes through the first part of the next lap, because that's where he has been struggling during the course of the last couple of laps. Just done the 18th lap, and Rapiduc is pulling away a little bit from Cole, but how will he go through Eau Rouge this time around? Because this is where he struggled. He didn't go through La Sauce. That's consistent as Davis Jr. is. You can see how far Davis Jr. is pulling away from this lot. And it looks so cool as losing time. Ben Morgan's there, waiting to pounce, as is Clayton, as is Robinson, Freeman and McCoskey. McCoskey's under threat from L Prentice now. This is a battle for 12th position. Oh, it looks like El Prentice got out of shape and McCoskey had to go through Radion. And El Prentice reacted very well with his driving skills. Kenty pulling away from Morex. He's not closing on Eldari. The gap at the front is now 2.6 seconds. MGK closing down on Frank all the time. Busov is not out of the frame yet either. .7 seconds is the margin. This is getting very interesting indeed. .7 seconds in sector 2. The gap will be smaller than that, I would have thought. In the final sector, it's 1.4. As we go through Eau Rouge, MGK keeping his foot in there. Waiting for a mistake from Frank. And Robinson and Freeman are fighting over 10th position. Robinson dropping back from Clayton. Going to the clutches of Mikowski and Freeman. This is a nice tussle. McCoskey. Although McCoskey's actually a long way back. I think there was a car behind that went off. It was the 51 of LJ who had gone for a spin. He was able to get going again. He needs to stay out of the way of the McCoskey and El Prentice that are coming through. El Prentice looking to the outside as they come towards Lacombe. Just diving to the inside and towards Brooksell. Oh, there's contact made between the two. El Prentice goes through, McCoskey drops back. McCoskey will not be very happy there with El Prentice, unfortunately. The Ferrari's got through. He's actually allowing him back through there, so that's probably good sportsmanship there from El Prentice, because he knew that he barged McCoskey out of the way to get the move done, which is not legitimate really. Now MGK's right behind Frank for the lead. The gap is less than half a second. Here we go. Frank looking to make a move on the inside. And waits. We'll probably get the move done at Lacombe. And now they're coming towards Eau Rouge now. Frank will just slot in behind. We'll get into the slipstream and we'll get the move done on the Camel Straight, providing he gets a tidy exit coming out of Radion. And he's dropped back actually from Frank. 10 minutes to go. Who will win here at Spa? Well, it's definitely not going to be Rapidoc. as he's down in 6th place with where he is. In comparison to Davis Jr., the title race will go down to the wire at Imola. It's only a slim chance for Davis Jr. to snatch the title from Rapiduc. Rapiduc, all he needs to do really is just finish the race at Imola, and that's it. MGK having a look, and Frank closing the door again. Looks to the outside at Fanya. He thinks about it, goes to the outside. Frank needs to leave room. Does he leave enough room? He does. Now they're coming towards campus. Frank keeps his foot in there, backs out of it, looks to do the switchback on the exit. Coming towards Devilo, will Frank see him? He does, and Frank shuts the door in time. Brilliant racing between these two and keeping it clean throughout. Busov is there in case these two come to blows. The rain has stopped. The track is still greasy. I would expect the grip to pick up in the final 8.5 minutes of this race now. No rain expected for the remainder of this one. MGK looking to the inside, going for the lead. Frank making his one defensive move before the corner. MGK still cannot get through. He may look for a move into La Source. Will Frank defend this one? MGK going for it on the inside. Is this going to be a change of lead? MGK is through. Is he? He outbreaks himself there when Frank should go back through again. He does so. So Frank back in the lead still and pulling away. But it's not over yet. Busov will get involved in this in a minute. It's inevitable that Frank and MGK will do battle the next time around. Two seconds is the gap between Davis Jr. in 5th and Rapiduc 6th. If the order changes in that, Rapiduc will be champion. Just looking at other changes in position as we speak. There's not too much going on in terms of change of position. LJ down in 22nd place as Bizzle is ahead of him after LJ had to make that extra stop. Nils is back in the pits now, so his race is done. Andy's also out. So we've lost 5 cars from this race from the 28 that started. MGK looking for a move again. He's trying to do what he did on the last lap. Frank will know what he did last time and uses that to his advantage and stays in front for now. MGK trying to find a different line to gain a little bit more momentum on the exit. Frank holds his nerve and keeps his car ahead. There'll be 3 laps to go at the end of this one. MGK so close, and so is Busov, to be fair. All 3 have driven a beautiful race. Now will MGK go for it at the bus stop? He'll go to the outside, which will give him the inside line. Should he go side by side with Frank? Oh, it's very nip and tuck. And MGK goes for a spin. He's lost it. Oh, that's a terrible shame for MGK. And he's lost 2nd place to Busov as well. Oh, we didn't want it to end like that. That was a beautiful battle going on, but it's not over yet, because if Busov and Frank come to blows, that could give MGK an advantage to take victory. Now Busov right on Frank's tail. Can he be the one to take victory here at Spa in the Audi? Through the Kemmel Straight. The track is at its optimum now, so track grip has improved in the last few minutes, and that's Frank nearly going for a spin, and Busov had to take evasive action. That was very, very close to both of them being in the wars. And Davis Jr. still in 5th place ahead of Rapidoc. The gap is 2.2 seconds. So let's say the championship is going to go down to the wire. The Drivers' Championship, that is. Most certainly the Teams' Championship. But that could still change. Frank ahead of Busov. There'll be 2 laps to go at the end of this one. It's still Frank in the lead. Busov in 2nd place. MGK showing that he's over 6 seconds behind Busov, but it'll be less than that now. Frank running wide. Won't want to be doing that too many times. Definitely not at this stage in the race now. And MGK's closed back in again. 3.8 seconds behind Busov. There's not a lot of time left now. Busov not close enough. Frank doing all he needs to do. It's been a superb race from Frank. And from Busov as well. If Busov was to be in 2nd place at the checker flag, he would move up a handful of positions. He's 15th at the moment. But with 38 championship points coming his way, he would move in front of Dim Adjuster. He would definitely move in front of Moggs. I think Moggs was the one who retired earlier. He was one of the 5 that dropped out, but he was the first one. He would move in front of Blair. He would move in front of Ray. I think Pavizel will stay in front of him. So I think Busov, with his point score today, would move him up to 11th. He would give him a shot of finishing in the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship, going into Imola next week. Frank, 9/10 clear, it's set to 1. Victory ever so near now. I think Moritz has made a mistake some time ago and he's dropped down from where he was in 16th. He's now down to 20th place behind Hutchinson, and he's lost a position to Pavizel, so he's obviously had damage somewhere. And it's been another race to forget for the man in the pink and blue Mercedes AMG. So will it be Frank or will it be Busov coming away with the victory champagne tonight? MGK closing down the gap a little bit more now. He's 2.4 behind Busov. Frank and Busov going through Blanchimont. 1 lap to go. And then we'll cross over the start-finish line, which is here. The last lap, here we go. MGK with the fastest lap of the race now. As Busov looks for a move on Frank into La Source, doesn't quite do it there. But they'll go into battle on the Camel Straight for the last time. Now Busov just needs the best of exits coming out of Eau Rouge. Frank was a little bit twitchy coming out of there, but Busov's exit was even worse, and I think the turbulent air was what caught him out. So Frank has got himself a little bit more of a buffer, but it's not over yet. There's still the bus stop chicane at the end of the lap for these to get through. MGK continuing to close in, but it's too little too late for him now. And he'll be out of the running for the title. It will be just between Rapidoc and Davis Jr. And Rapidoc has fallen back. And the time has ticked to 0. We are on the last lap anyway. The 25th and last lap. Busov trying to do all he can to close in. MGK doing likewise. It's going to be a photo finish between the top 3, I'm certain of it. Busov is not going to be close enough, I don't think, unless Frank has the worst of exits coming out of Campus and Stavolo. You can see how much MGK has been pushing, but Frank has surely done everything he can. He just needs to get through the bus stop chicane and he is safe and sound. Frank, after a difficult season, has had the best time of it throughout the whole campaign. He's going to lead Busov and MGK over the line, coming out of the bus stop chicane for the final time. Frank leads Busov and MGK to a photo finish. Frank wins in Taco Tuesday in Tier 1. It's his first win in this tier, in this series. Very, very well done to him and to the likes of Busov and MGK. Law comes home in 4th place. Davis Jr. will finish ahead of Rapiduck, so the championship will go down to the wire. Rapiduck is in 6th place, but he's under threat from Cool and Milden. Just holds them off. I don't know whether he was short on fuel, but he's made it over the line in 6th place. Cool and Milden in 7th and 8th. Clayton will be 9th, and then it's Freeman ahead of Robinson. Freeman with a much improved 10th position. So at least he keeps himself in the top 10 in the championship anyway. Robinson in a respectable 11th. McCoskey has a good race for once, but he's got what looks like Nils, who's trying to get to the end of the race. I don't think he'll get points. As the two cross over the line. El Prentice just fending off Aldori. Aldori trying to get through. El Prentice will hold him off, no problem. El Prentice comes home 13th. Aldori in 14th place. And we've got Mackenzie from the pit lane to 15th, which is not bad at all. And it's Jay Prentice who's got Mertens right behind him on the last lap. I think Jay Prentice will just hold him off though. Hutchison will be in a disappointing 18th position. Another one to forget for him for tonight. LJ and Ray Thomas have crossed over the line in 22nd, 23rd place, and Mertens making contact with Jay Prentice at the bus stop chicane. But Jay Prentice will hold on to the position. Hudson is going to head over the line also ahead of Palermo. And then it's Fabizel and Moritz who will be the last of the drivers on the lead lap. But there's your race winner. It is Frank, his first win of the campaign. And what a time to get it as well on a fan's favourite of Spa-Francorchamps. The top 3 separated by less than 1.5 seconds. That's how close it was. We'll run down on the race order once everyone else has crossed over the start-finish line. Just waiting for Moritz to head over the line now. And there we go. So Frank wins ahead of Busov and MGK. Law in 4th. Davis Jr. in 5th ahead of Rapiduck. The championship will go down to the wire at Imola next week. Cole ahead of Milden in 7th. Clayton finishing 9th. That's a good effort from him ahead of Freeman. Robinson in P11 ahead of McCoskey. Then it's El Prentice in a respectable 13th. Aldori 14th. McKenzie in 15th. And Jay Prentice and Mertens. Hutchison, a race to forget for him tonight. Again in 18th place. Palermo 19th. For Pizzle running out the top 20. Moritz was the last driver on the lead lap. LJ and Bray Thomas were a lap or 2 behind, that will still get points. Andy retired. No points for him. Nils, I doubt, will get points. Fuka, Fighter, Moggs also did not make it to the end. Drifter didn't even start due to his technical issues. Well, at the end of all that, the gap in the championship is down to 37 points with 41 left on the table. So all Rapiduck needs to do is to finish in 26th or higher, regardless of where Davis Jr. finishes. So Davis Jr. would need to win the race and get pole position to keep any hope of the championship going, really, or to keep or have any hopes of the championship by the end of next week. But it has to be that Rapidoc is the firm favourite for that, no question. Well, all that remains for me to say is thank you very much for joining us. Do make sure you like and subscribe. The Teams Championship will be updated. It's too close to call as to who could possibly take it at Imola. The calculations will be done in due course. So do make sure you keep yourself up to date on the Formula Racing League website so you know what's happening in that. So the championship goes down to the wire between two drivers. Vodka, Morex, MGK and co are out of it. It's just between two men. We'll do it all again at Imola next week. It'll be a 90-minute special. Instead of the 60 minutes, it'll be a fun, interesting finale to the season that began at the Hungaroring back in January. It was set to finish at Imola in mid-March. I'll leave it there. Do take note of everything that's in the YouTube description and how you can get involved in the Formula Racing League, and you might just join next season. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.